And now let's meet tonight. Starting lineup. First visiting Vikings from North Park University. Starting on the guard line at 6'1" sophomore from Austin, Texas, number 0, Toby Barrett. At forward, a 6'6" sophomore from Arlington Heights, number 1, Matt Zuba. A 5'5" freshman guard from Elgin, number 10, Kendrell Morris. The other guard, a 5'11" sophomore from Chicago, number 20, Isaiah Sanders. And the other forward, a 6'6" junior from Oslo, Norway, number 21, Veggie Taken. Vikings are coached by Tom Snyder, assisted by Marlon London and Justin Halloran. And now, the starting lineup for your North Central College Cardinals. At one guard, a 6'3" senior from Freeport, number 11, Eden Shad. A 6'4" sophomore guard from Naperville, number 24, Blake Meredith. At forward, a 6'5" junior from Romeoville, number 30, Matt Capoletti. A 6'6" junior forward from Plainfield, number 32, Connor Reardon. And from St. Charles, a 6'8" senior forward, number 54, Jeff Ronick. The Cardinals are coached by Todd Reardon, assisted by Vince Kamek and John Knight, and Jack Jasmine. Faculty mentor is John Mueller.
Not to as good of a start as you can possibly get off to 6-0, the record for the North Central Cardinals. They're 2-0 in conference play, but tonight put that record to the test against the North Park Vikings. North Park coming in 2-7. They're 1-1 in conference play, but a very balanced lineup. Welcome back to NCTV 17. Kevin Jackman, Zach Bucher here with you this evening. The women's game coming down to the wire. In fact, overtime needed to determine who win that contest, and it was the North Park Vikings 83-82. We'll see if this game has more of that in store for us. But we were talking before the game, this is a very well-balanced North Park lineup with a bunch of different guys that can beat you in different ways.
Yeah, it's really nice to have scoring options throughout your entire lineup. It makes playing defense significantly harder for opposing teams. But one thing that does kind of hinder is there's not one person that they can turn to in crunch time or to rely on to do a heavy load. So what's going to have to happen from the Cardinals is some good team defense.
So far, the Vikings passing to perfection and find a wide open three from Veggie Tangen. And it's a 3-2 lead for the Vikings. It was Matt Capoletti with the Cardinals opening basket. And we talk about the even scoring load for the Vikings. The Cardinals have a two-headed monster and a couple of forwards who can do everything on the floor, and that's Matt Capoletti and Connor Reardon. And their numbers reflect it so far. They're both averaging around 16 a game, about 7.5 rebounds, a couple of assists. These guys kind of mirror each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and it's really nice to be able to have that flexibility between two players. Obviously, last year, the two-headed monster, as you referred to, was Reardon and Sorensen. And now with Sorensen gone, someone has to step up and be that second option, with Reardon taking over the bulk of the scoring.
Missed three from Maiden Chang on the wing. Jack Bronick corralled the offensive rebound, could not put it back in. Into the hands of Toby Merrick. Now Tangen has it at the top, gets it over to Matt Zuba. The conference's leading rebounder through 9 games. Shot flipped up, no good. Kendrell Morris on the miss. Capoletti the rebound, he's streaking up the floor. Behind the back he goes, and a little floater. And that will find its way home. Good start for the Catman.
Yeah, and he really started to have his breakout performances last year. Started the year on the bench and just really played his butt off and played himself right into the starting lineup. And that's where he's been since that particular moment.
Merrick, the Austin, Texan native, able to bank that off the glass and in. So a 5-4 lead for the Vikings. Reardon, his first touch, goes down low. Bronick, he's double teamed for a moment, now kicks it across into the corner. Chang, and he whips it around back into the hands of Reardon. Stops, pivots on the elbow to the corner. It goes with Chang. Reverses directions. Now a wide open three. Reardon off the left side of the rim. No good. Tangen back to the basket against Reardon. Goes to work. Lunges towards the hoop. Puts it in. Strong move.
Yeah, he may be undersized for a forward at 6'6", but he's very strong down there in the post, and it paid off for him there.
Air ball from Blaze Meredith. Not the way any shooter wants to start a ball game. 7-4 lead, visitors with the advantage. Just inside 3 minutes into the game. Merrick, Tangen wants some more from deep. Almost had it. Offensive rebound for Isaiah Sanders, first time calling his name tonight. Chicago native. Sanders launching a three. Bronick the rebound, ahead to Meredith. High steps and gets it over to Reardon. Chang took the jumper, no good. Cardinal offense coming up a little flat. Capoletti's 2 field goals pacing them to this point. Morris bouncing it Tangen's way, gets it right back. Try to go with the backdoor pass, and that's out of bounds, intended for Merrick. Not on the same page. Chang will run the point, 15:45 to go, slow start on the offensive end.
North Park playing really good team defense, rotating extremely well and shutting off any lanes to the basket.
Bronick, the step back floater, bounced on the rim a couple of times and cannot get that one to go. Tangen has been the focal point of the offense so far.
He seems like he's a very versatile player. He can step out and hit from deep, and he's definitely strong enough to battle down low in the post, so no surprise.
6 on the shot clock, launching Tangen, able to connect. Tough shot, he buries it. He's got 7 points already. Handed off to Meredith, comes around the bend. Into the lane he goes. Do not count the shot. A foul came on the floor. Bronick checks out. The first man into the game off the bench for the Cardinals, Will Klossel, who has been very good so far as the Cardinals' de facto 6th man. Meredith passing up the three, takes the screen from Klossel instead, goes across court. Chang. Capoletti now possessing, back to Meredith. Lower block in Reardon. No shot attempt so far for Connor. And that one's going to roll out of bounds off the knee of Will Klossel. Kind of stagnant on that end of the floor.
Yeah, it goes back to the defense that North Park has been playing to start this game. They've done a really good job of closing off lanes and rotating well on defense.
Tangen with it, now near side Sanders. Diving into the basket, spins, puts up a shot, no good. Meredith the rebound. Into the corner, Chang. Who's going to emerge as the offensive threat? Capoletti has 4 points. That's all the Cardinals have too. Reardon, the floater, that's good. And there you go.
It was only a matter of time before Reardon got his first bucket. He can score in many different ways, and the post is one of his favorites, from what I can tell.
His ability to finesse the ball through the hoop is off the charts for a Division III player. Kicked out, Sanders with it. Shot fakes, puts it up short. Meredith another rebound, and he'll bring it up. Capoletti left wide open for a moment, didn't take it. He'll take it this time, and connects on the three-pointer. Ties the game up at 9. How do you defend two guys who can do everything on the floor?
You just try your best. And so far, I mean, North Park has been doing a good job of holding them both in check for the most part. I mean, those two account for all 9 of the Cardinal points, but that just goes to show you that they're sealing off everyone else.
Tangen hits again over Klossel, who had been providing blanketing defense. I don't know what else you can do if you're Klossel in that situation. He was attached to him on the hip.
And sometimes that's just how it's going to be. Better offense is going to win over defense sometimes. So you just kind of take it and roll with the punches.
Missed by Reardon, tipped in by Meredith on the offensive end. Tangen feeling it. I feel like you could just fling anything up there and see if it goes in. Sanders loses it. Meredith on the swipe. And he'll slow things down. A couple of Cardinals waiting to check in. As Meredith goes coast to coast.
And no one picked him up after the screen by Reardon. So Meredith with his speed just blew by everyone, and Tangen couldn't keep up with him.
Merrick near side, back to Tangen. Up and under move. Incomplete, out of the hands of Morris. Blaze Meredith wanted to step into a 3, now he'll take the jumper. Bottom of the net, good. 15-12.
Timeout, North Park. There'll be a 30-second timeout.
Timeout taken by Tom Slider. 30-second break, and after a dormant first 3-4 minutes of this game, the Cardinal offense has come alive.
Yeah, they finally have found the flow to their offense, and they're getting people open, and Meredith is doing a good job of getting himself open, and got a couple of turnovers forced, and he's got himself going here and providing a third option for the Cardinals.
Meanwhile, Veggie Tangen, 10 points. He's 4 or 5 from the floor, 2 of 3 from 3. Without him, the Cardinals might be doubling up the Vikings at this point. He's off to a terrific start. Certainly not what we expected. Came in averaging just inside double figures at 12 a game. He's only 2 points away from meeting his season average. We're not even a quarter of the way through this game. Sanders near side. Morris gets it over to Merrick. He'll bounce back for the jumper. And able to connect. 4 points for Merrick. Offensive foul on Aaron Jones as he was trying to pick off Capoletti's man. .10:30 to go, first half. 1 point game, a la the women's game.
Well, hopefully we have a different outcome and perhaps no overtime as well.
I'm sure the Cardinals would enjoy that as well. Jumper, Sanders elbows around. Klossel the rebound. Backs it out to Reardon. Klossel on the wing over to Tommy Koth, who just checked in alongside Jones. High post, Reardon takes the jumper. No good on his part either. Battle for it on the floor. Last touch by the Vikings, and Tangen was the last to touch. This Cardinal team vying for their 7th consecutive win to begin the season. And I thought one of the interesting things that Aiden Chang had to say after one of their previous wins was, this is the most exciting time to be a Cardinal fan since the 2013 Final Four team. Which is interesting considering the fact, and we've mentioned this, the big subtraction of Alex Sorensen and Erwin Henry without any major addition. But the core has progressed and they've matured and they just seem to have this versatility that in spurts is almost unguardable.
Yeah, and it is extremely exciting. I mean, you do lose a big factor in Alex Sorensen and a good role-playing, well, not really role-playing, but a good ball player in Erwin Henry. And it's still exciting to watch this team play because, as you said, the core has progressed. You had people step up last year that are now a part of this core. And you have people now this year, like Will Clausen, that are stepping up and providing some big minutes and some good opportunities for this team.
That's exactly right. Clausen puts in those 2 points. 17-16, Cardinals had the edge, and Cardell Simmons on the other end had that last jump shot to go in. That was a moonshot. I think that might have scraped the top of the rafters. Goes to the rim and gets past Pollock for an easy 2. Haven't really seen Mike Pollock do his thing like we know he's been able to do in the past. Clausen dive into the basket. Nice cut and nice find from Capoletti.
And this is the nice thing that Will Clausen provides with Bronick being in the starting 5 role. Bronick's more of a defense kind of guy, get you boards, good hustle plays and whatnot. But Clausen is a shorter, quicker player, so he's going to be able to run the offense off of a rebound, or as we've seen, he has the quickness to stay with Tangen, who was giving Bronick some trouble.
Nice feed down floor, and Capoletti able to finish that last sequence on the offensive end. Now with a step-in 3, no. 21-18, Cardinal advantage. Simmons to the hole, comes up short. Cardinals with a man advantage, Pollock. And that's a shot he's gonna hit 9 times out of 10 this time. He'll just hit the next 9.
That would be extremely impressive.
And Morris cannot connect on the layup. Tough sledding here without Tangen on the floor. 7:20 to go, first half. Jones to the rack. Flips up a shot, no good. Pulled down by Zuba, who's the conference's leading rebounder. And now both teams with multiple guys at the scorer's table waiting to check in. There hasn't been a dead ball in a while.
Yeah, it's been some good basketball playing here, very clean and no turnovers.
Merrick to the hole, and a foul on Tommy Koth. As Merrick was shooting, and he'll get 2 free throws. So Tangen will check back in. Jake Ellis will come into the game as well for the Vikings. Reardon, Meredith, Chang will all come back in as well for the Cardinals. Merrick hits the first.
Into the game for the Vikings, number 14, Jake Ellis, and number 21, Benji Tonkin. Turning for the Cardinals, number 11, Aiden Chang, number 24, Blaze Meredith, and number 32, Connor Reardon.
Missing on the second, Merrick keeps it a 2-point game. Pollock near side wing. Now into the hands of Meredith, trying to drive, and he's cut off. Dumps down, high post, Reardon. Kicks it, Chang, over to Meredith. Meredith, shot fake. 6 on the shot clock. Hands it off to Jones. 3, jacks up a 3, no good. And able to pull down that one. Tangen, just kind of disjointed offensive possession.
Yeah, not really a lot of good ball movement. You had a lot of standing around the perimeter. And it resulted in a bad three-point shot. You got to get some good dive cuts, and you got to set some good screens, get some good ball movement, and get your open looks.
You mentioned the fact that Cardinals missing Alex Sorensen. Alex Sorensen apparently missing the Cardinals. He's in the house tonight.
It's always nice to see former players still supporting their alma maters.
Good contest from Chang on the drive. And no foul called as Meredith, trying to go coast to coast, dumps it down underneath, and Reardon gets hammered. Try to spin one off the glass. 21-19 and a chance to add. Reardon with 5:52 to go in the first half. Boy, this first half has just flown by.
Yeah, both teams really playing clean basketball,
yeah.
and they're just, everything's flowing for both teams. Occasional bad possession here and there, but that's basketball for you.
Only 7 fouls to this point, too. That's a relatively low combined total. And I'll say this every day of the week, whether or not my preferred team is getting the calls or not, I'd rather a game of basketball that is less officiated than more officiated.
It's always nice to see the officials let the players play. You don't really like to see referees kind of take over and seem like they're calling everything and kind of dictating the flow of the game.
23-21, Ellis able to get the backdoor cut to go. Tommy Koth sits at the scorer's table to check in. High post Reardon. Now Pollock will take a pull-up three. And Pollock connects from the wing. 5-point lead, the largest of the game for the North Central Cardinals. Battling the North Park Vikings. Tale of 2 starts of the season for these two squads. Backdoor cut Sanders. Perfection. Cardinals trying to get their 7th consecutive win. The Vikings trying to avoid picking up their 8th loss on the early season. 4:40 to go. Meredith on the wing gets it to the top and Chang. Over to Jones. Jones back to Meredith. Reardon facing up Tangen. Now goes to work, kicks it out. Meredith steps into a 3. Off the mark. Sanders the board. He comes whizzing up the floor. Kicks it out. Ellis a 3, and Ellis connects for a 3, and a timeout taken by Todd Reardon. Game all knotted up, 26 apiece, a 30-second break. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Following the timeout, Jones bringing up the ball. Gives off to Meredith. We're all tied up at 26 on NCTV 17, your home for Cardinal Athletics. Kevin Jackman, Zach Bucher here with you. Reardon fighting through contact, and he'll pick up a foul before putting up the shot. 15 foul on the Vikings. 3:59 to go. Ball inbounded to Meredith. Gets it back to Reardon. Looks like they want to operate through Reardon here in this stretch of play. Capoletti a 3 near side, comes up well short. And a foul on the Cardinals will bring the ball down to the other end. Good shot. Couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, and more nights than not, you're going to see Reardon running the offense. So, and obviously with his numbers, he does a really good job of it. One of the Cardinals' all-time assist leaders. So, you know, he knows what he's doing out there when he's running the offense.
Set a program record mark for assists per game last year. Ellis a three. He's now connected twice. And he's given his team a 3-point lead here late in the first half. Meredith gets a screen from Reardon, diving into the basket, draws the contact and a foul.
Viking foul number 1, Matt Zuba, his first, 6th team foul. Blaze Meredith.
That is the 6th team foul, Zuba's first, and Meredith will go to the line for 2. Correct me if maybe you think something different, but if I always do that, Blaze Meredith can develop into the same type of player that a Matt Capoletti or a Connor Reardon already are, that would kind of catapult this Cardinal team into a national spot of maybe being contender for a national title.
I could see it. He definitely has the tools to do so. He's a very athletic guard, and he knows how to play the game. He gets up and down the court really well and has good court vision. Just right now in this particular point of his career, he's looking to score that basketball.
Yeah. He's doing it pretty well, too, especially in spurts. That's a 30-second timeout taken by North Central to avoid a jump ball situation. For the Cardinals, obviously it starts with Connor Reardon, 17 a game. It's Matt Capoletti scoring 14, but right there behind those two is Blaze Meredith. 10 and a half, 3 rebounds. He's got that body type that would allow, he's very explosive, very athletic. This could form into a 3-headed monster that would be very difficult to stop. They've started 6-0, and I get the sense that they haven't even scratched the surface on how good and how dominant they could be.
Oh, absolutely. They have a way of playing that is dangerous, and it's very Warriors-esque. A lot of ball movement, a lot of passing, a lot of team togetherness. And Blaze Meredith could easily develop into a third option and provide some much-needed scoring when maybe Reardon doesn't have it that night or Capoletti's struggling. It just allows for a lot of flexibility.
Well, we saw against Carroll when the Cardinals were without Connor Reardon for the majority of the game. Foul trouble kind of put him on the bench for a while, and they were still. He didn't have a field goal until the final 5 minutes.
And that's not typical of Connor Reardon. He plays almost every minute of each game, so you expect him to be out there. So credit this Cardinals team for someone stepping up and taking the spotlight and lifting the team to a win.
With it in his hands, Morris gives off to Ellis. He has a couple of threes tonight. Merrick gets a screen from Zuba. Near side back to Morris, and a travel. Stutter stepped. .2:27 to go, first half. High post Reardon, back to Chang. Reardon. Capoletti shot fake, goes back to Reardon. 10 on the shot clock. Corner Capoletti 3, no good. Ellis wants a third, will not get it. Reardon to the rack. Short on the shot attempt. Rebound Tangen. Morris on the break. Opposite corner, Ellis. He'll drive and kick. Zuba takes the three. He's off target, and that'll roll out of play. I feel like this game just started. You mentioned it, just the game flow. It's just game flow.
Yeah, both teams are just kind of enjoying the pace at which they're playing, and as you mentioned before, not too many fouls. 7 has increased to 11 over the course of 10 minutes.
Reardon misses the jumper. Still a 1-point game. Merrick coming across a couple of screens into the hands of Morris to the top and Tangen. 7 on the shot clock. Zuba with it against Reardon. Takes the jumper. Sinks the jumper. North Park has hit some difficult shots here in the first half. 45 ticks remaining. Meredith with that big mouthpiece. Intimidation factor for number 24. Underneath, Klossel connects on the reverse lay-in. Meredith right now is matched up against Kendrell Morris. That is a 1 foot and 1 inch height difference.
Yeah, and Morris has struggled a little bit here in the early going. He's gotten to the basket a couple of times, but it's hard playing through the trees.
Another miraculous shot will end the first half for the Vikings as Merrick connects. Some incredible shooting on display for the Vikings in that first half, and they lead by 1.
Yeah, and you got to credit the defense of the Cardinals. They're doing a good job. It's just kind of tough and demoralizing when you're doing everything you can on defense, and they still make the shots, but it's going to happen. Sometimes shooters just shoot.
They just shoot. Exactly it. We'll see what they do in the second half. 15-minute break. We'll be right back at NCTV 17. Second half set to begin, and welcome back into the broadcast. Kevin Jackman, Zach Bucher. Cardinals trail on the scoreboard 33-32. And Zach, what were your assessments of that first half of play for NCC?
My assessment was they played the way that they normally play, outside of being a little stagnant on offense to start, but they finally got their groove going, and Blaze Meredith was a big part of that with 10 points. So I would expect them to do a little bit more this second half, especially going into the half down 1.
It looks like they're going to overrule the initial call and say that Blaze Meredith touched that basketball and it rolled out of play. So the Vikings will maintain possession of the basketball. Fresh 20. That's what we've got to go in our contest as Sanders knocks down a jump shot, makes it a 3-point game, 35-32. Seemed like in that first half, this Viking team just simply couldn't miss. They took some wild shots.
And sometimes that's just how it goes. The basket just seems like the size of a beach ball, and everything just seems to go in.
Pass dumped off for Bronick, who wasn't looking. Cardinals have 5 seconds on the shot clock. Chang takes the jumper. There you go. The overused saying is ball don't lie, and I guess that's kind of it. Sometimes when a team is miraculously making shots, it all equals out in the end, and there's a tough contested jump shot that goes down for the Cardinals. Off the hand of Bronick, on the floor, picked up by Reardon, thrown ahead to Meredith.
Gotta love the hustle by Reardon. As soon as he saw that ball was knocked away, he is on the floor.
Bronick provides the screen, slips to the basket, ball goes to the corner, and Chang Cardinals have to reset. Reardon working up against Hangen and drops that right down the hatchet. Cardinals take the lead, 36-35. Very fast-moving first half of play. Very similar start to the second. Outside Sanders, a triple. Good.
Just a lot of good ball movement by both teams and playing with a good pace.
Reardon will step into a three, and he comes up short. Capoletti cannot corral the rebound. Into the hands of Morris it goes. Morris trying to split a pair of defenders, and the foul will come on the floor. Some eye-popping numbers to this point in the game. North Park is shooting 62% from deep, 55% overall from the floor. Those seem like pretty staggering totals. They also seem pretty unsustainable.
Yeah, it's not very often you see a team shoot 60+% from the field. Well, not from the field, but from
three.
From three, and sustain that over the course of a 40-minute ball game. The field goal percentage, that's probably sustainable around 55%. If you can continue to get good looks at the basket, or, as you pointed out, throw up some prayers and they just go in.
First miss from Morris. I guess that's the one downside for the Vikings to this point. They're 1 of 3 from the free throw line. Morris splits a pair, and it's a 3-point lead for the visitors tonight, 39-36. Reardon controls. Capoletti has it. Clears some space. The follow-away jumper, no good. Rebound, Zuba. Comes in averaging about a 9 a clip. Leads the conference in that category.
And that just goes to show you that rebounding is absolutely a hustle and effort stat. It's not always going to be the tallest guy out there getting all the rebounds, because he's definitely a couple inches shorter than Bronick, and he's obviously doing a good job on the boards.
Meredith gets the contact, draws the foul, and gets the bucket to drop. Big time play after the Cardinals drop down by 3.
Meredith to the line to complete. 3-point play.
Blaze also plays with this fire, it seems like. Free throw is good. Makes it a 3-point play, and it also makes it a 39-39 game.
It's almost as though he relishes in the moment, and he wants you to come at him, and he wants you to challenge him.
Certainly like that right there. Kind of toying with Morris, who is a foot shorter than him. On an island near side. Morris gets past him. And Morris puts it in. I don't know about you guys, but that looked like about 4 or 5 steps.
Yeah, and Blaze is not happy about it either. He's playing with a fire under him right now.
Chang to the basket, blocked by Suba. Zuba could have sent that straight down to earth. Lobbed in, and almost an and one for Matt Capoletti. Instead, he'll go to the line.
Viking foul number 0, Toby Merrick, his first, second team foul. Matt Capoletti to the line. Shooting 2.
Intensity to the second half. You can feel it.
It's two teams going at it, and as if they got something to prove, both of them.
It just doesn't feel like this is the third conference game of the season. This feels like it's coming down to the wire and they're playing for the conference title. Ellis checks in for Morris. Ellis connecting on a couple of threes in the first half. 15:46 to go. First, make that second half of play. One of two for Capoletti. Batted away by Reardon, picked up by Chang, thrown ahead to Capoletti. Capoletti comes down with it. Cardinals have to settle into the half-court set. Reardon reverses course and cannot hit the layup. And a foul sends Simmons crashing to the floor.
Cardinal foul number 54, Jack Reardon, his first, 13th foul.
First foul on Bronick. 13th foul on the Cardinals as they trail by 1. Merrick with it. Cardinals with some really good on-ball pressure.
And with the way that the Vikings have been shooting, they kind of have to.
Blocked by Capoletti. To a surge in Meredith. Cannot connect. And an offensive foul on Bronick.
Cardinal foul number 54, Jack Bronick, his second, 14th foul. Turning to the Cardinals, number 40, Mo Foss, number 2, Johnny Moe.
Meredith went for the crowd-pleasing dunk. Comes up empty, and the Cardinals also pick up a foul, and he will check out of the game.
Meredith playing with an intensity that we haven't seen out of him, at least that I've noticed. And that dunk would have absolutely thrown the entire building into a frenzy. So I don't blame him for taking that chance, but it just didn't pan out for him, unfortunately.
And we've seen him throw down a couple of dunks so far this year as Capoletti pulls a three and able to connect. Ties the game back up at 43. Merrick goes baseline and up and over the top of Chang. Chang looking for Reardon. Into the hands of Klossel. He'll drive and lays it in. Klossel looks really good.
I'm really impressed with the couple times that I've seen him so far this season. He's provided a really nice spark off the bench.
It will be a full timeout.
Very limited role player last year as North Park takes a timeout, a minute break. We'll keep it here, but sometimes you need those guys that don't appear to be destined for a star role to step up and become that sixth man, to be that guy. Erwin Henry came in as a fourth or fifth option. He left as the team's second leading scorer. There's no reason Klossel couldn't do the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. And what that comes down to is the same thing that Erwin Henry went through, is you just practice, practice, practice. Improve yourself each and every night out. And, I mean, Klossel had 9 big points last week in the first half. Really helped get the offense going. And it seems that every time he steps out onto the court now, he is putting up big points.
8 points tonight, 4 of 4 shooting. It's as efficient as you get.
He may not take a bunch of shots, and he may not, blow you away in any other aspect, but he does his job.
Interestingly enough, Connor Reardon with a relatively quiet night. 6 points on 2 of 9 shooting. Only 1 rebound. Not nearly as influential as he was in the early portion of the schedule. But I'm sure the Cardinals don't mind that, seeing that Blaze Meredith and Matt Capoletti both have 13 apiece. And also, between the two of them, have 9 combined rebounds. So the production's still there, just from some other people. As Simmons tries to get past Koth. Koth picks up a foul.
Cardinal foul number 2, Tommy Koth is second. Team 5th.
Cardinals' 5th personal foul. That's Koth's second. Simmons sits on the first to break the tie. Simmons has come into the game for North Park and given them a bit of an injection with some energy. Hits a pair. Scott Olsen into the game for the first time tonight. Number 23 for the Vikings. Plossel again driving, picks up a foul, count the basket.
Not much you can say about it. He so far this year, he's just done his job when called upon. And it's really providing some extra oomph tonight, especially with it seeming like Bronick has kind of been ineffective tonight. Just kind of a bad matchup for him. This Vikings team has some quick forwards that maybe Bronick can't keep up with.
Morris working up against Jones. Zuba swings it. Ellis goes outside. 5 on the shot clock. Morris dives to the basket, kicks it outside. And a contested 3 goes in. Trent continues. Really good defense there for 29.5 seconds. And a foul on the floor against Olsen.
That's how it can be sometimes. You play the defense you're supposed to, and then just a split second can change that entire possession.
Blaze Meredith back into the game. Inbounded to Klossel, outside Jones. To Reardon. Reardon spins baseline, bouncing around under the basket, gets the reverse. I would say that Connor Reardon is the ice to Blaze Meredith's fire. Doesn't matter the circumstance, it just seems like he's always very calm.
It's very rare to see him get emotional, and it's usually when the team isn't executing the way that they're supposed to. I know a couple of times last year he definitely got hot-headed over some bad stretches, but yeah, he's usually cool and collect.
3 knocked down by Olsen. Reardon goes to work, kicks it out to Meredith. Stutter steps and gets whacked in the face. I guess that's why he wears the mouth guard. 6th team foul, so Meredith will go to the line for a 1-and-1. Oh, they're going to say he was in the act of shooting. Excuse me.
Turning to the Vikings, number 0, Toby Merrick, and number 21, Benji Tunkin.
Tangen, after that fast start, has made a limited impact in this game. He just checked back in. Very quiet nights, and starting off with a scorching first, I think, 10 points.
And what you could probably credit that to is Will Klossel's entrance into the game. It seemed as soon as he came into the game, he did a really good job of shutting him down, being able to body him but still keep up with him.
Foul on the play as Merrick goes crashing to earth. That will be called against Capoletti. That is their 6th team foul. Capoletti's second.
Toby Merrick to the line, shooting 2.
He'll knock down the first. Merrick, Texan native, just a sophomore. Very young North Park team. Only one senior on the squad, and that's Simmons, number 2. Jones working to the near side, gets it over to Capoletti. Back to Jones. Jones bouncing into a 3, buries it. Simmons on the wing. Now to Merrick, looking for a screen. ISO one-on-one, kicks it out. Tangen, no room to shoot. 8 on the shot clock. Olsen, a deep 3. Nicks the rim, and out of bounds it goes. Cardinals a 1-point advantage. Jones gets the screen from Reardon, dive into the basket. Now Capoletti spins into the lane, gets it!
Good move. And good recognition after his spin that he had some bodies in his way, so he just pulled up for the floater.
Merrick driving, kicking into the hands of Olsen. Gets it back. 9 on the shot clock. Merrick goes to work. And a travel called on Merrick. Defense seems like it's tightening up for the Cardinals in a good way.
Yes, and that's probably because of the stretch where it just seemed like they couldn't get a defensive stop.
After the miss from Jones, Reardon tried to tip it to Capoletti underneath the basket, and he's called for an offensive foul.
I don't know about that one.
I wasn't sure about that either. It's going to result in free throws, though. Merrick to shoot at the other end. Front end of the 1-and-1 is good.
Turning to the Cardinals, number 11, Aiden Chang.
Chang over to Capoletti. Reardon with it, swings to the corner, Meredith. Meredith zips it onto the wing. Klossel for 3, in and out. Zuba collects and throws it ahead to Simmons. Good job by Blaze Meredith getting back on defense as he harasses Simmons.
And that's one thing that he excels at too. He provides a lot of energy for this team, but he absolutely is a great defender.
Merrick gets past Reardon, reclaims the lead for the Vikings. Klossel gives off to Meredith. 9:10 to go. And a foul away from the ball. Simmons taking down Reardon. Gets called for the foul.
The Cardinals really wanting to exploit that defensive shift where Simmons ended up guarding Reardon, and Simmons was not giving any leeway at all in the post, but leads to a foul.
1-and-1, first end, good, ties the game at 58. Reardon on a good pace from the free throw line so far this year, connecting on 86%. Here comes the second from the junior forward. Buries a couple. Just like in the first game, this game very well could come down to who hits their free throws. Near side Merrick, down low Tangen. Cut by Merrick, gets the acrobatic layup to go, and will go to the free throw line.
Gotta like the body control there by Merrick. Really was able to keep himself under control, albeit didn't look like it from the outside.
Some moisture on the floor being wiped up. Three-point play, good. 2-point lead for the visitors, 8:48 to go. Chang hands off to Meredith. Meredith with a great crossover, gets to the basket and will go to the line. Morris wore that.
Yeah, there was no way with Morris only being, what?
5'5".
5'5". He wasn't going to contest that shot, so he tried his best to get in front. Just a little too late.
So 2 shots coming for Meredith. Hits the first. Meredith this year hitting 70% of his freebies. Hits a couple here. No separation in this game. 61-61, 8.5 to go.
Something's got to give here, though, in the last 8.5.
This is a Viking team that has beaten Wheaton and has also taken a 20-plus point loss to Carthage. Sanders throws it away. Capoletti and Tangen colliding, and Tangen went flying into the scores table. Hopefully everybody's all right.
That did not sound pretty.
Yeah, that sounded painful. 11 on the shot clock for the Vikings. Merrick drives. Blocked by Meredith. 3 on the shot clock. Zuba hoists a deep prayer. No good. Sanders an offensive board. And they will settle down. Timeout taken, North Park. Tom Slider wants to chat it over. 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. And this game's going to come down to the wire, isn't it?
It seems that way. Both teams just playing with a lot of intensity and offensive efficiency. It doesn't seem like one team is kind of getting an edge over the other. And when it does, the other team responds, and it responds well.
So while North Park has a 54-45 advantage in way of field goal percentage, the Cardinals have 7 more makes at the free throw line. Kind of balances out that equation, I guess. But everything else is pretty comparable, with the exception of the Cardinals only have committed 2 turnovers in the entire game.
And that's definitely one of the reasons why you see the Cardinals still in this game, even with a field goal percentage deficit. Turning the ball over can really hurt any team. And when you minimize those mistakes, you're going to end up doing some good things on offense and defense.
Sanders able to pivot and lay it in with the floater. Meredith, the leading scorer tonight for the Cardinals, 17 points. Driving to the basket, off the glass, favorable roll. 63 all.
Meredith is just playing with some kind of swagger right now.
And Morris hits the deck, and he'll get a 1-and-1.
Team 9. Control Morris to the line to shoot a 1-and-1.
7:14 to play. First is good, breaks a 63 tie. And some precipitation on the floor apparently near the scorer's table, where Morris had hit the deck. And it'll be wiped up in due time. And now we're good to go. Morris sinks a pair. Getting down to crunch time here.
And the Cardinals continuing to go to Blaze Meredith here.
To Pollock, down low, Reardon. Reardon stops, shovels off. Meredith will get the foul. Looked like Reardon had lost that, and he was able to somehow still scoot it over to his teammate.
Yeah, that was some kind of pass, if it even was a pass. Intentional anyway, I don't know. But that's why you always got to cut to the basket, because you never know what's going to happen.
Meredith was 9 for 9 from the free throw line up until that point. Hits 1 of 2. Morris hands off to Sanders, who has a couple of big baskets here in the second half. Morris to the rim. Banks it off the glass and in. 3-point lead for the Vikings, 6.5 to play. Meredith, Reardon playing the two-man game. Reardon now with a mismatch. He has it in the high post, spins baseline. And he's able to get to the rim and finishes. After the make, Reardon takes the timeout.
Cardinals making a conservative effort to get those mismatches in the post for Reardon, and he is just eating them alive when he gets the opportunity.
Feasting on some of those smaller defenders, and that's the problem that you present when you're going up against a team that has the smallest player on the court at any given time for the Cardinals could be 6'3". You have Chang, you have Pollock both standing at that height. Blaze Meredith 6'4", Capoletti 6'5", Connor Reardon 6'6". You put smaller guys on them and take it to the post.
Yeah, and Sanders and Morris all under 6 feet. Sanders at 5'11", Morris at 5'5", and Simmons was even one that Reardon took at one point, and he's
only 5'11" too.
Yeah, he's 5'11". So you have these 6 to 7 inch mismatches in the post, and with how strong Reardon is, it's just so easy for him to put on a display down there, especially when he has good post moves for being a wing player.
Giving credit where credit is due, though, for the most part, North Park has been able to overcome those deficiencies in the height department. Been pretty impressive tonight. They're leading this game, 67-66. If you took away the scoreboard, you unplugged it, I didn't know what the score was, it looks to me like North Central is outplaying North Park. But North Park keeps hitting these shots, and they keep coming up with key defensive stops.
And that's all it takes, really, to keep yourself in a game. You may, for all intents and purposes, they could be losing, but they keep right with the Cardinals and do all the right things. And
Merrick
hit big
buries
shots.
a three. Cardinals try to confuse by going into the zone. Didn't work. Now a 4-point lead as it's back into the hands of Meredith. Behind his back he goes. Swings to Capoletti. Down low, Reardon rips through traffic and he'll go to the line. Who's going to be tagged for the foul? Tangen.
Vikings foul number 21, Benji Tangen, his third. Team 10.
And now the Cardinals in double bonus from here on out.
Shooting two.
First free throw good for Reardon. And second free throw good too.
Got to start coming up with some defensive stops here.
Tried pinching. Back to Morris, down to Sanders, and Sanders was left wide open underneath.
And the zone defense is a good defense to run, but passing is the one way to stopping it. And so far, the two possessions that the Cardinals have run, it good ball movement by the Vikings has really rendered it useless.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Shooting two.
No confusion at all. Meredith at the line to shoot two. Hits the first.
And at this point, they need to start getting some defensive stops. It's not like they're not scoring or staying with the Vikings, but it's tough when you have a 2 or 3 point lead, and every time you close that gap, it just opens right back up.
And it's a high-scoring game, that's for sure. 22 points now for Blaze. Meredith leads the way for NCC. Morris diving into the basket, almost gets the bucket to go, and he'll go to the line for two more.
Cardinal foul number 4, Aaron Jones, the second. Team 10. Kendra Morris to the line, shooting two.
So Morris will nestle in. Two on the way for him. Hits the first. I think you're right. I think it's going to come down to whether or not the Cardinals can make a string of stops. It's not a matter of scoring because they've been doing that all half.
And they may not be making the jump shots or the layups, but they're getting to the line and they're capitalizing on the free shots that they're given.
Back into the possession of Meredith. He'll swing to Jones and back to Meredith. Shot fake. Drives, absorbs contact. Reardon plucks it away. Reardon underneath, puts it in. Lots of contact. No call. Morris taking Jones to the rim and able to finish again. Kendro Harris. Make that Morris, excuse me.
And those are the kind of possessions you can't have if you're trying to get back into this game. You can't just give them easy drives to the lane.
Meredith takes the three, in and out, no good. Capoletti fighting for it. Merrick comes up with it. And the Vikings will slow it down, up by 3.
And Tangen on those switches kind of playing off of Meredith as if to dare him to take that 3-point shot.
Timeout, North Park. We'll take a timeout too. We'll be right back at NCTV 17. Following the timeout taken by North Park, the Vikings lead by 3 and have possession of the basketball. Ellis with it, gives off to Merrick. Merrick gets by Meredith. Picks up 2 more points. 5-point lead for the Vikings, who come in 2 and 7. And right now, hold an upset bid against the 6-0 Cardinals. 3.5 to play. Meredith stops, uses the screen from Reardon. Capoletti takes the 3, no good off the back of the rim, and foul on Reardon underneath the basket.
Now it seems the Cardinals are possibly pressing a little too hard right now, trying to get back into this game with 1 shot, which you're only down 5. You just need to get good possessions, get good looks, and chip away.
First free throw good for Tangen. Boys, the free throw shooting been good here in the second half for North Park. 11 of 14. They only took 2 in that first half. Connecting on a pair. Pollock will take the 3. Buries it. Big time shot for Pollock.
And that's what the Cardinals kind of need. They haven't really had someone step up over the last few minutes, and Pollock with a great 3-point shot.
And Merrick draws the foul on Meredith.
Cardinal foul number 24 plays Meredith is 3rd.
That is Meredith's 3rd. Both teams in double bonus, by the way. 4-point affair, 2:39 to go.
Down the stretch, the Cardinals are going to have to start playing defense without fouling. Now with double bonus, they're getting 2 opportunities every time.
First one's good. Taking a look at the foul trouble situation for the Cardinals, pretty evenly spread. Chang and Meredith both with 3. Capoletti, Reardon, Bronick, Koth, Jones all with 2. Pollock and Colosso clean. For North Park, Sanders has 4, as does Simmons. While Tangen and Olsen each have 3 apiece. Reardon to Meredith, driving to the basket, follow away shot, cannot go. Zuba the rebound.
Not really a good shot there.
Certainly pressing the issue.
Yeah, Meredith having a good night offensively, but you can more than likely get a better look than that one right there.
Shot from Simmons comes up empty, and Morris collects the rebound. Tangen gets it outside. Only 4 on the shot clock. And a foul called on Meredith. That's a tough one to take if you're the Cardinals.
Yeah, I understand what Meredith was trying to do there, and it was a good play up until the foul. But with the shot clock winding down, you don't need to try and block that shot.
But at the same time, he did block it.
Yes.
He's continuing to plead his case. That's not going to change anything. But at the same time, that very well could provide a sort of dagger, especially with Merrick hitting the first 2.
Yeah, at this point in the game, not really a mistake that you can afford to make.
Three free throws dropping, now a 9-point game. That is the largest lead of the game for the North Park Vikings. Minute 49 to go. Cardinals need a basket. They need a big one. Can Pollock give it to him? Yes, he can. Are you kidding me?
And there's a three-pointer that you needed. And now you're only down 6. It's still plenty of time if you play defense to get a few good close looks. You don't need to try and start launching away from 3 just yet.
That hit by Pollock basically keeping them in this game. If he misses that, I think this game is essentially over.
At that point, you could argue that for sure. It would have been still a 9-point game, and you have a minute 40 and no possession of ball. So, yes, that shot essentially has kept them in this game, given the circumstances.
Looks like the officiating crew might be removing a fan from the stands. I gotta say, the officiating crew isn't making any friends tonight. It just seems like every call they make is upsetting one side or the other. It's the nature of being an official, but it's just an interesting comparison between the two halves. I mean, in that first half, there were so few fouls called, and it just seems like everything is a foul here in the second half.
Yeah, and that goes to what I mentioned in the first half. It seems very much so that the officials are dictating the flow of the game now, and it's weird, and you don't like to see that.
Morris able to put a juke move on Chang, and Chang draws a foul, and he'll send Morris to the line. That's Chang's 4th.
I like the on-ball pressure that the Cardinals are giving right now, but they just, over the last few possessions, have not been able to do that without fouling. So you have to change something when you're down 6 points with a minute and a half to go. You can't keep sending them to the line and giving them 3 points.
And they keep knocking these down too. They're now shooting 19 of 23, 83%. 2 more. 8-point game.
And you're putting more pressure on your offense now to get that big bucket. Whereas with a 6-point lead, as I mentioned before, you could afford to get a quick, easy 2. But now you're at a point where maybe you do have to start chucking up 3s.
Chang, high post, Reardon, hands it off, Pollock takes the 3. Buries it again. 2 huge 3s put in by Pollock to keep the Cardinals afloat. Another timeout taken, a full timeout taken by the North Central Cardinals, down by 5. Minute 17 remaining. This is plenty of time, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And you have to credit Pollock. He's doing everything that he is asked to do. He's not played a whole bunch of minutes tonight, but he has easily come in and done what he has been asked to do, which is knock down 3-point shots.
He has 4 of them tonight. 11 minutes played, he has 12 points. And you want to talk about efficiency, you want to talk about being able to come in and do your job. I mean, he's performing his role to perfection at this point. Will Klossel, 5 of 6 off the bench as well. Those 2 guys have combined for 23 points and have only missed twice from the field.
And that's really a great thing to see if you're Coach Reardon, to have people that come off the bench that have accepted their role as sparks off the bench, and to see them executing. It makes for a really good team.
Question is, can the Cardinals avoid fouling, force a miss, and collect the rebound? Because it's the trio of plays there that just haven't coalesced here in the second half. Either they don't foul and give up a shot, or they foul and they don't. You get the gist.
Yeah, and it's going to come down to that right there.
Foul on North Park. Merrick will collect the foul, and Chang will go to the free throw line.
And if Chang can connect on these free throws, literally only 1 second came off the clock, and you are now within 3. But misses the first one.
Just short on that first. Here comes the second from the senior guard. Knocks down 1 of 2. And a foul off the ball, and Morris will go to the free throw line. And Chang has fouled out of this game. So Chang is done. The Cardinals are going to have to make a substitution, and Jones is the one to lift off the bench. And Morris hits the first. Timeout situation, the Vikings have 2, the Cardinals with 1. 1:16 remaining. Both teams well past double bonus at this point. If there was triple bonus, we'd be in contention for that. An awful lot of fouls here in the second half.
Yeah, and now if you're the Cardinals, you have to score here. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to score.
Reardon diving to the basket off the glass, no good, and he's able to collect his own miss. And he'll draw the foul and go to the line. That is going to be Sanders' 5th. And he will be done for the night. Simmons lifts and come into the game. The end of this game has come to a screeching halt. First from Reardon is good, 5-point game. Second is good as well. 88-84, Cardinals trail the Vikings. Deep in inbound pass to Tangen. Brings it up the floor. And a foul called on NCC, 54 ticks remaining. And that is Blaze Meredith's 5th. So he's done. Tommy Koth will come into the game.
It almost looked like Meredith was extremely close to getting a technical. Not sure how that works when you fouled out of the game. But one of the refs was jawing back and forth with him, and he did not look happy about anything Meredith had to say.
Morris missing the first. Still a 4-point game. Hits the second, 5-point affair. Still 52 seconds remaining. High post Reardon again. Backdoor pass Capoletti. He let it clank off his hands and out of play it goes. Would have had a dunk wide open.
And those are just the mistakes you can't afford.
And Morris travels as he meandered toward the corner. So a turnover after a turnover, an eye for an eye, and we're right back to where we were. Except minus 13 seconds.
Which, at this point in the game, you can't really afford if you're the Cardinals.
3 ball missed by Pollock, and a foul on Capoletti.
It's not really a shot you need to take in that situation. I understand you're down 5, and three-pointer would be nice, but you don't have to press so hard.
89-84, into the free throw line, Zuba. hits the first. This game is approaching the very end. Vikings appear to be on the cusp of an upset. Cardinals appearing in the rankings for D3 hoops. Top 25 is Jones, jacks a three. No good off the back of the iron. And this is essentially it. Shot clock has been turned off. The Vikings already celebrating what they deem to be a win.
I mean, crazier things have happened in the game of basketball. We've seen Reggie Miller, 8 points in
32 seconds or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. And Tracy McGrady, what was it, 11 points in 8 seconds almost?
Yeah, it was crazy. Pollock slips across the screen, drives to the basket, lays it in for two. 16 and a half seconds left. 7-point game. And Tangen will go to the free throw line, only a second off the clock. At this point, you're approaching that miracle, where if something happens, I think we wind up on SportsCenter.
Yes, I would assume
Yes.
as much. 15 seconds to go and you're down 7. You would literally need to get 3 threes in a matter of 7 seconds.
And at this point now, it's if he hits another one, it's a tie. That's if they miss all their free throws from here on out.
Yeah.
Jones clears space, takes the jumper, drains the jumper, 7 seconds left. Inbounded to Merrick, and that is it. Time will wind down, and the Vikings come up with a big upset. Take down the Cardinals 95-88, and a hard-fought victory as they beat the Cardinals, who were previously 6-0. And essentially, Zach, it boiled down to getting stops and not fouling. They couldn't do either.
Yeah, and that's what killed them down the stretch, giving away free throws. And we talked so much, even in the women's game, about how much free throws can make or break a game. And in this case, it broke the game because the Cardinals just could not stop fouling down the stretch. Playing good on-ball pressure, but you got to be able to do that and not foul.
Next time we'll see this Cardinal team will be on Wednesday when they host Aurora. Second to last home game of 2018. We hope you join us for that. It'll be a 7 o'clock tip. Until then, I'm Kevin Jackman alongside Zach Bucher on NCTV 17. We'll see you next time.